Why are high moral standards important to you, and how did you come to discover the value of upholding them?
I'm living my life for something greater. I'm living my life for the long run. I'm not just living for the now. Um, Moral standards are something that you decide on and that you live your life by. And you're not letting other people or you're not letting society decide who you are. You're deciding who you are. You're making your own decisions. And by living by a moral standard, you're living for something greater than just the now. A lot of people, I think, live for whatever makes them happy in the moment, for temporary satisfaction, temporary gratification. But that's what they are. They're just temporary. By following a moral standard, you're living for, or at least what I believe is that you're living for a more eternal, a more real joy that you'll find not in the now, but in the future.
And it can be also now too, right?
It can be now.
It should
It
be
can
now
be.
too. There's nothing wrong with that.
And yeah, because if you're not living by a moral standard, you're just kind of like letting yourself. You're just following what society and the people around you want.
If it feels good, do it.
Right, and then you're not really making your own decisions. You're not in control of your life. You know, by having a moral standard, that gives you power because you're the one making the decisions, not the people around you, not television, not the magazines. When people think about moral standards, they see it as like rules that they have to follow. You know, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. And especially I think for teenagers who want to be independent, they want to make their own decisions, and they just see it as rules that, you know, and they don't want to be inhibited, they don't want to be restricted by rules. But they're not rules. I mean, they are in a sense, but they're more than rules. There's a reason for them. It's, you know, parents tell their kids, you know, don't touch the stove because it's hot. And, you know, kids like, well, that's a rule, you know, so he wants to break it, so he goes and touches the stove, and what happens? He gets burned. Similarly, like when I was talking before, and when I was describing about what true love is and how to have, you know, that kind of like true love in a relationship, the reason that you shouldn't engage in premarital sex, that you should follow standards, is because in the end it's better for you. The reason that you shouldn't go and do drugs is because, yeah, it might make you happy in the moment, but it also might cause you to do something that could screw up your life. And that might not necessarily happen, but it's better not to run the risk. So by following moral standards, you might miss out on the now, but really you're saving yourself, and you'll find out that you're actually not missing out. That actually by following a standard, then you have something to be proud of within yourself, and you'll feel much more powerful and much happier because of it.
Why is it unpopular to be a person who upholds moral values in today's society?
It's basically going against what society teaches us is cool and is popular. You know, society teaches us that society is all about, you know, sex appeal. Everything is related to, you know, how can I be more attractive? And so following a moral standard isn't necessarily in line with that. It's more almost going in the opposite direction. So you're clashing with what's popular by following a moral standard. And so, I mean, that's why it's seen as uncool. Also because society is like that, because the media is like that, you think that you're the only one that might be following this kind of standard. But actually, people will respect you for it when you tell them about it. I know for me, when I told my friends about that I have this standard I'm following, people were amazed, you know, and they gave me a lot of respect for it. And I also found out that there were a lot of people that actually agreed with those kind of beliefs and standards. And by following them myself, other people feel inspired to do the same. And so I feel like if people are able to follow those standards and are able to tell other people that they're following these standards, they'll actually gain a lot more support, because they'll realize that there are a lot more people than they thought there might be that are also agree with the same ideas. So there was one thing that happened to me during high school that kind of helped me to realize all these things I'm talking about moral standards. And that was, I became friends with this one person during my junior year. There was me and 3 other people, and we all became really good friends in one of my classes. And there was one of the friends was a guy and the other 2 were girls. And I told them about, that I have these standards that I live by, that I believe in abstinence before marriage, that I believe in fidelity within marriage. And I would wear this ring on my finger that said true love waits to show that I believed in these values. And they were really impressed by it. But it never really, to me, this is how I'd been living, so it wasn't too big of a deal. And, they were just my friends, and we had a lot of fun together. But I didn't actually realize how much it affected other people. And what happened was, the next year when I graduated, my friend sent me an email and about all these things that had happened to her that I had no idea that were going on. And what she talked about was that when she was younger, she had a boyfriend and things didn't work out, and it affected her really deeply. And it really caused her a lot of misery and pain in her life. And she basically had thought that she would never find a guy who was worth being in a relationship with, because she thought all guys were shady. And then she talked in her email about how when she met me, it was really amazing to her to find somebody who was at her intellectual level and who had these standards and beliefs, and not only had standards and beliefs, but actually lived by them, that followed them. And how I just thought we were just, we were really good friends. But she says that I helped to kind of revitalize her faith in men, that, there are guys out there who might follow this kind of standard. And for me, that was really shocking, because I never thought, here I am, I'm just kind of following what I believe in. But here, without even realizing it, I affected somebody really deeply in their life. And so yeah, I think that goes to show that you really never know how much living by a standard can show to other people until you, find about their real story.